Imagine you're standing in the middle of your life, surrounded by bills, a paycheck that barely stretches, and a bank account that feels more like a cage than a vault. You've done everything right, worked hard, saved what you could, maybe even invested in a 401k like you were told. But deep down, there's a gnawing fear. Am I getting poorer? Is this system rigged against me? You're not alone. In 2025, with inflation eating 4 to 5% of your savings yearly and consumer debt at $17 trillion in the US, that unease is a signal, a whisper that the rules you've been taught about money are broken. What if the path to wealth isn't found in bank apps or Wall Street advice, but in secrets so old they've been buried for centuries? Picture an ancient Jewish chest, locked tight, hidden in the sands of history, filled with wisdom that has quietly guided some of the world's richest families for generations. These aren't myths or fairy tales. They're principles of wealth that have outlasted empires, wars, and economic collapses. Yet, in America, they're never taught. Not in schools, not on CNBC, not even by your financial advisor. Why? Because they empower you to break free from a system that profits when you stay clueless. The Jewish people, despite centuries of persecution, have built wealth against all odds. Think of dynasties like the Rothschilds or modern moguls like Gary Cohn. Their success isn't luck. It's rooted in timeless strategies, passed down like sacred texts that anyone can use. But here's the catch. These secrets challenge everything you've been told about money. They're not about chasing trends or impressing neighbors. They're about quiet, unshakable wealth. In this video, I'm unlocking that ancient chest to reveal 3 wealth secrets Americans were never taught. These are the keys to escaping the financial traps keeping you stuck, and they start with rethinking what you value most. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll see money and your future with new eyes. Let's open the chest and discover the first secret, one that flips everything you know about wealth upside down. Part 2. The 3 wealth secrets hidden in the ancient Jewish chest. You're standing before an ancient chest, its leather cracked, its parchment scrolls glowing faintly in the desert dusk. These aren't just relics. They're the distilled wisdom of a people who defied history's chaos, preserving wealth through exile, war, and collapse. The Jewish people. Their secrets, written in ink older than empires, challenge everything you've been taught about money in America today. In 2025, with inflation at 4 to 5%, consumer debt at $17 trillion, and 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, these truths aren't just relevant, they're urgent. Let's unroll the scrolls and uncover 3 wealth secrets that can rewrite your financial future. Each one is a rebellion against the system that keeps you trapped. Let's begin with the first scroll, one that redefines what it means to be secure. Secret number 1. Ownership is power. The first scroll unfurls with a single, unyielding truth. Ownership is power. In ancient Jewish law, wealth wasn't measured by coins in a purse. It was measured by what you controlled. Land, livestock, gold. These were more than assets. They were anchors. When empires fell, when currencies crumbled, what you owned endured. The Torah's laws, like the Jubilee cycle, ensured land stayed in families. Debts were forgiven every 7 years, and ownership was a shield against chaos. Even in exile, Jewish families clung to deeds, smuggled gold, and preserved titles, not out of greed, but out of necessity. They knew that true wealth lies in permanence, not promises. Contrast this with America in 2025. You're taught to rent your life, your home, a $1,800 monthly lease, with eviction just a missed payment away. Your car, a $600 loan, losing 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. Your phone, a $1,500 upgrade you don't own, tied to a carrier's contract. The average American household carries $6,000 in credit card debt, $100,000 in student loans, and $200,000 in mortgages, yet owns little that generates wealth. You pay taxes on income, sales, property, but control nothing tangible. This isn't freedom, it's fragility. The system markets debt as empowerment, leasing is luxury, but it's a trap. If you don't own it, you don't control it. And in a crisis, like the 2008 crash or Canada's 2022 bank freezes, your wealth can vanish overnight. Why does this matter? Ownership insulates you from uncertainty. Psychologically, it shifts your mindset from dependence to sovereignty. Financially, it builds a fortress against inflation and systemic risks. Socially, it roots you in a legacy that outlasts fleeting trends. Look at the Rothschilds, who rose from 18th century Frankfurt to global influence. Their wealth wasn't in bank accounts, it was in land, gold, and private banks they controlled. Even today, Warren Buffett follows this principle. His $120 billion fortune isn't in cash, but in Berkshire Hathaway stock, real estate, and businesses he owns outright. Ownership isn't about ego, it's about power over your future. What's the lie you've been sold? That renting is flexible, that debt is normal, that experiences trump assets. But every dollar spent on a leased car or a subscription is a dollar stolen from your control. In 2025, with housing costs up 40% since 2020 and car loans averaging $40,000, this lie keeps you chained to payments, not progress. The Jewish secret flips this. Prioritize what you can own. Land that appreciates. Gold that hedges inflation. A business that generates cash flow. These endure when dollars don't. So how do you act? Start small, but start now. Save $1,000 and buy a silver coin. $30 gets you a tangible asset no bank can freeze. Research a $10,000 plot of land. It's finite, unlike printed money. Launch a side hustle, sell digital products on Etsy or consult on Upwork, and own the profits. Live below your means. Drive a $5,000 used car, skip the $1,500 phone, and redirect that money to assets. If you're renting, explore house hacking. Buy a duplex, live in one unit, and let tenants pay your mortgage. The goal isn't to own everything at once. It's to shift from renting your life to controlling it. Ownership is your shield. Wield it. This first secret anchors you, but the chest holds more. Let's unroll the second scroll, one that redefines what wealth truly is. Secret number 2. Wealth is retention. Keep more than you earn. The second scroll reveals a truth so simple it's revolutionary. Wealth isn't what you earn, it's what you keep. In Jewish tradition, tithing wasn't just a spiritual act, it was a financial strategy. You gave 10% to the community, saved 10% for the future, and lived on the rest. This wasn't about sacrifice, it was about discipline. It reversed the modern trap of spending first and saving what's left, if anything. The Talmud teaches, give first, save next, spend last. Why? Because it builds a margin, a buffer, that turns income into wealth. This is the secret that fueled Jewish resilience, from medieval merchants to modern dynasties. Now look at America in 2025. The average household earns $60,000 but spends $65,000, racking up $6,000 in credit card debt at 20% interest. Paychecks vanish to subscriptions, $300 per month on average, takeout, $200, and lifestyle upgrades like $1,000 sneakers or $5,000 vacations. Consumerism is the religion here, preached by ads, influencers, and social pressure. You're told spending shows success, that status is a new car or a bigger house. But that's the lie. Every dollar spent on fleeting pleasures is a dollar not working for you. The result? Financial stress is as American as apple pie. 78% of adults report money worries in 2025. Why does this matter? Retention rewires your relationship with money. Psychologically, it shifts you from scarcity to abundance, knowing you have a surplus. Financially, it creates capital for investments that grow. Socially, it fosters community strength, as Jewish traditions show. Consider their historical practices. Interest-free lending circles, communal funds, and shared resources ensured no one fell too far. Even today, Orthodox Jewish communities in Brooklyn maintain gemachs, free loan societies, that keep wealth circulating, not draining to banks. This isn't just personal discipline, it's collective power. Wealth retained compounds. Wealth spent evaporates. What's the lie you've been fed? That you need to keep up with others, that spending is living. But in 2025, with inflation eroding 5% of your purchasing power annually, spending first is a death spiral. The rich don't fall for it. Look at billionaires like Charlie Munger, Buffett's partner, who lived modestly in the same house for decades, funneling his wealth into investments. Or consider Gary Cohn, former Goldman Sachs president, who prioritized cash-flowing assets over flashy purchases. They keep more than they earn, letting time and discipline multiply their gold. Secret 3. Knowledge is currency. Master the system silently. The third scroll whispers a truth that's hard to embrace. Knowledge is currency, and silence is power. In ancient Jewish culture, wealth wasn't just gold or land. It was wisdom. Children memorized trade skills, negotiation tactics, and financial principles, not for fame, but for survival. The Talmud wasn't shouted on street corners. It was studied in quiet rooms, passed down over generations. Families like the Rothschilds didn't broadcast their banking strategies. They protected them, teaching their heirs discreetly. This wasn't secrecy for secrecy's sake. It was continuity. Knowledge, guarded and applied, outlasts markets and monarchs. Contrast this with America in 2025. Financial wisdom is a circus. YouTube gurus peddle crypto scams, TikTok influencers flaunt rented Lamborghinis, and apps like Robinhood gamify investing. The average American spends 2 hours daily on social media, chasing trends, but can't read a balance sheet or explain compound interest. Schools teach algebra, not assets. Advisors push fees, not freedom. This isn't education. It's entertainment. Meanwhile, the rich study silently. Look at Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, who devours economic reports, or Ray Dalio, who journals market patterns. They don't post their playbooks on X. They teach their children over dinner, ensuring dynasties endure. Why does this matter? Knowledge is the ultimate asset. It can't be taxed, seized, or inflated away. Psychologically, it empowers you to see through the system's lies. Financially, it equips you to make decisions that compound wealth. Socially, it builds legacies, as Jewish families proved through centuries of adversity. The lie you've been sold is that financial success comes from loud hustling or viral branding. But in 2025, with AI disrupting jobs and markets shifting faster than ever, the loud lose and the learners win. Knowledge lets you step outside the system, not fight it. What's the cost of ignorance? In 2023, 60% of Americans had no financial plan and 40% couldn't cover a $400 emergency. Why? No one taught them the rules: how banks profit from your debt, how inflation erodes savings, how assets beat liabilities. The Jewish secret is to master these rules quietly. Study markets like a scholar, not a gambler. Learn what the rich know and keep it close. How do you start? Invest in your mind. Spend 1 hour a week reading. Start with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, $15, or The Intelligent Investor, $20. Follow X posts from investors like Cathie Wood for market insights. Take a $50 Udemy course on real estate or crypto. Learn to read a stock chart or a company's earnings report free on YouTube. Teach your kids or friends one principle a month, like compound interest or debt traps, over dinner. Silence doesn't mean hiding. It means strategizing. In a year, you'll outsmart 90% of your peers. Knowledge is your currency. Spend it wisely. These 3 secrets: owning what endures, keeping more than you earn, and mastering knowledge silently, are the scrolls of the ancient Jewish chest. They've built dynasties through centuries of chaos, and they can build your future in 2025's uncertainty. But knowing them isn't enough. The chest is open. Will you live by its wisdom? You've just unlocked an ancient Jewish chest, peering into secrets that have built wealth for centuries while the rest of us were fed lies about money. These truths, hiding wealth in assets, shielding it with tangible things, and arming your mind with knowledge, aren't just ideas. They're a rebellion against a system that wants you to stay broke, distracted, and dependent. In 2025, with inflation at 4 to 5%, debt climbing, and banks holding just a fraction of your deposits. These secrets aren't optional, they're survival. Most people will never hear them. They'll keep chasing paychecks, buying status, trusting apps, until they're 60, wondering where it all went wrong. But you're awake now. You've got new eyes. The beauty of these secrets is their simplicity. You don't need to be a Rothschild to use them. Start with a $200 gold coin instead of a new gadget. Research a $10,000 plot of land instead of a bigger car payment. Spend an hour reading about investing instead of scrolling Netflix. These small moves, rooted in ancient wisdom, compound into a life of quiet wealth, the kind that doesn't need to shout. The rich don't win because they're lucky. They win because they know what you now know. You're already ahead of 90% of people who'll never question the system they're trapped in. So what's your next step? Pick one secret and act today. Buy a silver coin online. $30 gets you started. Check out a real estate listing for a small rental property in your area. Download a free PDF of The Richest Man in Babylon and read a chapter tonight. Wealth isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, and you've just taken your first real strides. This channel is here to keep guiding you, peeling back more truths the system hides. If these secrets hit home, consider subscribing to join us for the next revelation, like the 10 so-called safe investments that are quietly draining your wallet. Drop a comment with the secret that sparked something in you. Let's keep this journey going together. You're not just chasing money, you're chasing freedom. And that's a legacy worth building, one secret at a time.